All right, all right, all right. Hello, hello, everybody. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, yes. To you, ladies, and to you, gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Conversational Caffeine. I hope that you got your mugs ready. I hope that you have your cups ready because we have lots to sip about with our special guest, and we will return right after this short message. Well, okay, okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to Conversational Caffeine. No coffee cup intended, but it is the kind that brews the mind yet stirs the soul. And if I am new to you, I am Shauntae C, your courageously confident coach, and I help entrepreneurs and creatives to show up bold and fearless in their careers and their callings. And I am so happy to have you on today as we have a wonderful guest who has come to share her shoe power. Yes, her success, healing, optimism, and entrepreneurial power with us on today. So, hey, if you are here, I want you to just share your comments. And if you have something that you would like to say, don't forget to ask for permission on this live stream. Again, don't forget to ask for permission as I want to hear from you and I want to see your comments. All right. So let's get started with this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, yes. Thank you, Michelle Jackson Theory. Thank you for tuning in to Conversational Caffeine with us. I am so happy that you have joined us. And to all of you viewers who are out there, thank you again for tuning in to Conversational Caffeine. So we're going to go ahead on and we're going to get started with this, shall we? Yes, yes. So for our guest on today, I am just so happy that she is here to share with us in this timely era that we are in, this powerhouse of a woman. She is, as you already know in her bio, she is a marketing strategist, and she is such a blessing to entrepreneurs and creatives and those who are in the faith-based community because she does so many talented things for entrepreneurs by way of giving you social media audits. If you need a facelift, if you are trying to leverage your marketing abilities with your business, she is just so excellent with that. In addition to being a professor, shout out to HBCUs, she is a professor with Hampton University. And as a sister, y'all, as a sister, she is the wonderful creative founder of the Empower Her Circle, which reaches women all across this state in sharing confidence, self love, self worth for professional and business women. So, you all, please, I want you to get your mugs up, let us sip, and welcome my special guest on today, Keisha Tay Reynolds. Hello, lady, how are you?
Hello, I am well. Thank you for having me today, Shauntae.
I am so happy to have you here on this Conversational Caffeine podcast that we are viewing virtually all across the world. It is good to have you here in this space today. So just shout out the listeners and let them know that you're here.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. As you just mentioned, I am Keisha Tay Reynolds, CEO of KNR Communications, which is a branding and a digital marketing agency for entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and churches. So I'm really excited to engage in this particular conversation as we move the needle forward when it comes to churches being in this digital landscape and what that really means. So I'm really excited about this conversation. One of the things that we do with our company is that we have a 5 focal point area. So any of our clients who come into contact with us, it depends on where they are in that particular window. But we start them off with branding, right? Brand developing, understanding who they are, their tone of voice, who they serve. And then we move into the graphics, right? So how do you visually show up when it comes to online and offline? Then we have your web design components that go into that, your email marketing, and your social media marketing, as well as social media advertising. So that is everything that we do within my company. And again, we do work with entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and churches. Uh-oh, I think you're muted.
Girl, see, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, on Conversation Caffeine is loud. It could be some glitches, but thank you for sharing your information with us. Yes, and we are just so glad to have you on this podcast because on yesterday, Keisha, I had hopped on real quick to share about how this is an opportune time for faith-based communities by way of pastoral leaders. Even if you are a spiritual leader in your business, you have a plight of charismaticism that you use, or if you're a spiritual speaker. But I was sharing how this is an awesome opportunity for us as a community to take advantage of the virtual space that we're in, not just for our congregations, but just in the secular and the non-secular world or audiences that we have the opportunity to embrace. And so I know with you as a marketing strategist, you work with the secular and non-secular audiences. And so my question to you is then, how did you get into the faith-based space? What you do?
Okay. So, when I started my company in 2015, I started to serve 2 areas. One was the entrepreneur, the small business owner, and then the second part was for the church. So for me, I grew up in the church. And one of the things that I noticed as, I grew up and as I get older, when it comes to me learning my craft, right, marketing and branding, I noticed that, churches didn't really have this consistent feel across their graphics, didn't really know how to show up online and what they should be doing online and how they should be using these online mediums. And some of them had websites and some of them didn't, right? So really trying to make sure that they understand that in order to reach out to people who may not be affiliated with their congregations, that they needed to show up online and understanding how to show up online, right?
Right.
And what tools and mediums that they needed to utilize in order to do that so that they could be effective in their approach. So that was the big pull towards me doing that component as far as working with faith-based working within the faith-based community, particularly with churches and pastors.
Awesome. And listen, you are getting a lot of love right now. For those of you who are tuning in, this is Conversational Caffeine with my special guest today, Keisha Tay Reynolds with KR Communications. And we are talking about how congregations can leverage their presence in the virtual community. And so Patricia Fletcher Pickens, she's saying hello. You might get some love from the Empower Her Circles, Keisha, and on your page. Thank you, Mother, for tuning in. She says, I'm watching. All right, Mama. And thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes. And we have Angel Nicole. She's watching. Hello, woman of God. Thank you for tuning in. So you're getting a lot of love here today because you have some interested spiritual leaders who are trying to find how they can leverage their voice, their presence in the virtual space that we're in. So with all that you're saying as well, what do you find to be the number one challenge in all that you do with working with faith-based communities and churches? What is the number one challenge that you're finding that some churches and spiritual leaders are having issues with, they're struggling with?
The challenge, I would say, right now, since we are, we've been thrust into using social media due to the pandemic, and a lot of churches were using it only to stream their Sunday service, and some churches didn't use, social media or Facebook at all. So this is a completely new experience. So
Right.
one of the challenges that I'm, currently seeing is that we are limiting ourselves by only streaming our Sunday service. And we're not taking a holistic approach to doing ministry online. So if you think about it, when we think about the church, it's always something happening at church, right? Like every
Hmm.
day of the week, you could go to the church house and see and be a part of something that is happening in ministry. So
Right.
the biggest piece now is how do we take those things that we do inside of the building and convert them over to being able to do those same things in an online component, and really being able to decode, right, what this really
Mhm.
means to be a church, and to also do church online. And how do we do church online by using these mediums? So that's one of the biggest challenges that I'm seeing right now as churches are beginning to show up online.
Interesting enough. And I like what you raised awareness how churches are just, showing up on Sundays, but there is a power, the power of presence. There is a power in being relevant during the week. With a devotional life, we have to have that. So do you feel that well, actually, what are some other ways that you believe that churches can market themselves beyond just Sundays? Give us some tips, and I'm gonna lean in. I'm gonna cue you in as you're sharing. So, for those of you who are again tuning in to Conversational Caffeine, and you are a spiritual leader, please, please, please listen and share this broadcast with someone that you know that is in ministry or a spiritual speaker, as this is going to be helpful. So, Keisha, we're gonna lean in. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So the biggest thing I would say here when it comes to doing ministry throughout the week and not just on Sunday when we are live streaming our Sunday service is really going to be focusing in on small groups, right?
Mm.
So a lot of churches were starting to adapt this concept of small groups physically in the church, but how do we do that, online? So having small groups around certain, subject matters or topics, such as married and single, having something for our youth, even, Bible studies or Sunday schools, anything that we can turn into a small group so that people are able to engage with one another online. They're able to
Mhm.
discuss, they can feel that they are connected to the ministry, and they're able to be fed, right? So
Right.
moves us into this whole discipleship piece, whereas
Mhm.
people are learning the word, they're able to apply the word to their lives, and then they're able to also share that with someone else to invite someone into that small group conversation as well. So that would be one of the biggest, pushes that I would say, or biggest push that I would say when it comes to online church is really developing these small groups so that people can feel a sense of community and a sense of connection with their local congregations.
And it is so interesting that you brought up the point about small groups because even before the pandemic hit, I always thought about how there will come a point in time where what if the church doors are closed? What if they're not open? What will be some creative ways or some space that we could get the message out there to people? So I really do believe that we are moving into that space of small groups. More so virtually now, but even when this lifts, there may be some opportunities where you congregate in homes or you congregate in small just spaces to do that. But again, with this virtual community and just embracing it more and more, that is really a good option because we do have Zoom, we do have conference calling, we do have just so many opportunities out here to advance. What do you find, or if you find, is there a lot of pushback for some leaders to to be able to, I guess, be more of a physical, well, not physical, let me say this. Do you have some pushback with some leaders about being on TV? I know with the baby boomer generation, or those who may not be as tech savvy or up to par with cell phones, or just a lot of social media. You know, some people may feel Facebook is the devil. It ain't the devil. But do you find that there is some pushback with some of the people that you serve in? Oh, well, I don't know if I want to get on live, or I don't know if I want to do a Zoom. Have you found that?
So I want to make sure I'm understanding your question. Is it more so with the streaming? I know you mentioned television, so I want to make sure I'm understanding that. So can you ask me again?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you again, and I am getting at the streaming. I'm
Okay.
going to get at the streaming because I know with who you serve,
Mhm,
a lot of your clients, they're on TV. But those who are trying to expand,
mhm.
are they finding issues with the streaming? You're
I'm
older.
going.
Let me say this. You're more
Okay.
so you're older. Like I said, you're baby boomers, or those who are maybe 60 plus. I don't want to say 50, but 60 plus.
You know what? For my clients that I'm connected to who are in the age range of 60 plus,
Hmm.
they are good with showing up online, right? And I can just take my pastor as an example. He's 60 plus and he shows up online. He is a big advocate for having a social media presence and why we should be on social media. He does his Bible study, he does all these things from the comfort of his home, and then on Sunday he goes into the church, and we broadcast from the church. So for that particular audience, for those people that I'm personally connected with within my business, I believe that they are comfortable within that. But I do know that that is not true for every single person, and it's not just baby boomers, right? Um,
Talk about it. Talk about it. Sip, sip.
this is, a concept that is new to many pastors who may not have been streaming at all, right?
Wow, wow.
Or if they were streaming, they didn't have much to do with the process of streaming, right? They had their ministry that was there and all this stuff. But now people are streaming from their homes, from their offices, and things like that. So I do believe, focusing in on only streaming to social media is a problem. I would say to make sure that you are diverse in your streams. I believe that every person, every type of organization, every church needs to have a website. So that should always be your home. So streaming to your website as well as your social media platforms, so that you can really own that content. That would be the biggest piece. Now, when we think about, streaming as well, I think that a big hiccup can come when we don't have the right tool in place for the streaming, right? So
Right.
having a high definition camera in a lot of instances, making sure that you have a microphone, right? Mic'd up, whether that is a mic that goes in your face, a lavalier mic, and making sure that you have the appropriate lighting. I think that has been a very big challenge. I think it's easy to go
Mm,
on social media and hit the live button and then you're there. So I don't
right.
think that is the challenge, but I think the challenge is how do we make this look as professional as possible, so that our audience stays engaged with the stream and then they don't lose focus because there's stuff happening in the background and the lighting is not right and they can't hear you, and all that. So I think those other little components that make the online experience is what we need to really, be discussing, and really be looking at when it comes to making our streams effective.
Okay, so challenging question, baby. But Keisha, I don't have a website,
Oh my.
and I want to be able to reach my congregation. Yes, I do conference calling, but I want to be better connected, more visually. So, what do you offer to perhaps some ministries that don't have a website, or may not be as savvy with social media, or or may have the platforms in their churches, the equipment or the tools? What is something that you could offer them, or they could use?
Absolutely. So for the ministries who don't have a website or who are not as inclined to using the visual elements, one of the things that you mentioned, Shauntae, was the free conference call, right? So we have freeconferencecall.com. You have Zoom where people can call in. There is another platform that is called phone streaming.com,
Okay.
where people can literally set up a stream via phone, and it actually calls them and lets them know, like, hey, we're getting ready to go live, so make sure you call this number at this time. And then they call in and they can listen to the service. Now, Facebook also has this dial-in feature to it as well. However, what I've seen is that there are some connectivity issues there. So I wouldn't say to rely solely on, Facebook in order to do everything, but to
Right.
really look at some of these other tools that will allow you to embody um, the offline as well as the online presence. So those are some of the mediums that I would say, as far as if we're not tech savvy, right? We're not a tech savvy church. I'm not a tech savvy pastor. What do I do? There are other options out there that are available. So as I mentioned, freeconferencecall.com, phone streaming.com, Zoom, setting that up so people can physically dial in from their phones. Because, the older generation, their two mediums are television in the phone, right?
True. True.
As well as radio. So, if it's easy for them to pick up a phone and dial in, it's more comfortable for them to pick up a phone and dial in versus trying to push them into using social media or push them into using online technology. Um,
Right.
that may not work, and you don't want to lose them as we are in this transitional period.
Right, right. And that leads us to you having a special announcement for us. We
Yeah.
have been tuning in to this conversational caffeine to our audience with guest Keisha K. Reynolds. And we are just excited of the opportunity that she has for you all as spiritual leaders who are interested in leveraging your visibility on the virtual stage. So I want you to get your cup out because we've got a special announcement for you coming up. All right? All right.
Hello, I am Keisha K. Reynolds, CEO of K&R Communications, a branding and digital marketing agency for entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and churches. Since the formation of our company in 2015, we have worked independently with churches throughout the United States. With that, I have also personally taught churches on a local level, regional level, and on a national platform how to use technology, social media, and digital in the life of their church. This brings me to a special announcement that I am excited to share with you. We are preparing to launch a platform that is exclusive to churches. Yes, your church. It is called Digital Church University. In my teaching, what I notice is that churches are on a variety of different levels when it comes to using technology in the life of their church. And for those ministries who are using technology, they're using it in a fragmented way. So we may have a website, we may be on social media, we may even be hosting Bible study online. But how do we begin to use all of these online mediums, tools, and technologies to fulfill the Great Commission? The goal of our platform is to use digital discipleship to impact lives. It's like having an expert on your church staff. Every single month, we will release exclusive content to your ministry to help you gain a deeper understanding of using social media and digital outlets to share the gospel of Jesus Christ online. Mark 16 and 15, we are called to proclaim the good news to everyone. So I invite you in to learn more about Digital Church University and how we can partner with your ministry to help you operate these communications tools effectively to reach the church, and the unchurched. Visit digitalchurchuniversity.com to learn more. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Hello, I am Keisha.
Uh-oh, you're muted again.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it. You have heard it. The secret is out and it is on. It is on digitalchurchuniversity.com. Keisha, take us away to explain a little bit more about what you have to offer. And I'm going to lean in again. I'm going to put you back. Uh-oh.
Thank
Okay.
you. One of the things that this platform focuses on is how do we create this e-church experience and really learning how to do this within your particular ministry. So I raised this question with this platform. And this question is very simple. And I want you to really think about this. If Sunday service is 2 hours and Bible study is 1 hour, how is your ministry strengthening relationships and deepening the faith of those connected to your ministry in the other 165 hours of the week? So it all starts here with Digital Church University, where you will learn how to create an e-church experience by utilizing social media and other digital outlets to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. So the mission of this platform is to serve as a resource to churches by providing online training to help church leaders and ministries gain a deeper understanding of how to utilize social media and digital technology. We are called to proclaim the good news to everyone. That's Mark 16:15. I mentioned that in the video. So social media provides your congregation with the basic tools to communicate online, while DCU, Digital Church University, builds your knowledge of operating these tools effectively so that you can reach the church, those who are connected to your local congregation, the D church, those who were once a part of a ministry and they are no longer a part of a ministry, and then the unchurched, those who have never accepted Jesus or God into their life as their Lord and Savior. So how do we reach each of those groups online so that we can impact their lives? So this particular platform answers that question. And I'll walk you through how you do this for your ministry. So a few of the things that our portal, our education portal currently has inside of it is that we have a design suite. So I talked about graphics early on, right? So having a design suite for churches to go in and create their sermon graphics, their presentation slides, and all of that. You can plug and play your information. We have in-depth courses currently in there that are around church email marketing and Zoom education for churches. It's over 18 lessons. I also have a 7-part digital church series that goes into how do we be the church online within the midst of this current pandemic. There are 3 ebooks, and then I'll also have virtual office hours where you can ask questions every single month as it relates to your ministry to grow online. So every single month there is new content added into the portal, and we're helping you to answer that question of how do we really be the church online? How do we create an e-church experience? How do we impact our ministry and our community within those 165 hours of the week where we are not doing our Sunday service and where we are not doing Bible study? What happens once we do those things, our Sunday service and our Bible study? What else happens, and how do we create that online community? So that is what Digital Church University is all about.
And I'm going to sip.
Sip your tea or coffee.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it. You have heard this. digitalchurchuniversity.com. If you are a spiritual leader, you need to get in on this. This is a wonderful service that Keisha is providing by way of marketing, by way of having you to better show up for your audience. So please take advantage of it. And as you can see on the feed right here, on across the screen, please, you can see her link to enrollment, which is digitalchurchuniversity.com. And you can text Digital Church to 31996. All right. All right. So, Keisha, thank you so much for sharing this information with us, showing us how we can take advantage of the virtual platform that we have on today. And before we close this out, I just want you to give some closing remarks to those fellow spiritual leaders, spiritual speakers who are trying to show up by way of being a better presence. What words of encouragement can you give our listeners on today?
Absolutely. So I believe that we are in a very pivotal season, right? Within the church and just within, speaking or industries across the board. So I think right now what we have to do is we need to take a look at what is going to be our plan moving forward so that when we move forward, we can move forward strategically, having to, thought through all of the processes and what we should be doing. I don't want you to be discouraged in this moment. I want you to just use this time to build your team, to build your knowledge, so that when you do step forth into using, these online mediums to their full capacity, you can step forth within this arena very boldly and very confidently. And in everything, make sure that you pray and that you are seeking God so that you can do the right thing for your ministry, for your congregation. So that would be some of, the feedback that I would provide.
Thank you so very much. And just again, I appreciate you coming in today at the Conversational Caffeine Green Room and just sharing your gift with us to the world. And if you want to be part of this great move, again, you can enroll at digitalchurchuniversity.com and you can text Digital Church to 31996. Also, Keisha, can you please share with us your social media uh, platforms that we can connect with you and put in a shameless plug for Empower Her Circle?
Okay. So yes, on social media, you can find me on Instagram at underscore Keisha K. So that's KeishaKay. So at underscore Keisha K. And then on Facebook, you can connect with me. My username is Keisha K Reynolds, is on the screen. So literally how you see it is how you can type it into your Facebook browser and
Literally.
I'll pop up. I do also have a group that is on Facebook that you can join as a free resource, and that is called Digital Church University Facebook group. So make sure that you join that. And one of the things I did not mention, Shauntae, is that I am in the midst of planning a summit, and it's going to be a completely free summit for church leaders and pastors everywhere to join in. And that will be taking place soon. So make sure that you text that number so that you can get more information and that you can connect with me so that you can get more information about that and that you don't miss out on the opportunity. And then the last thing is empowering her. So Shauntae mentioned I do have a nonprofit organization that is for women, and empowering her is that it's a women's empowerment organization for women, and we look at two focal points, and that is business. How do we thrive in business and be successful? But then also self-care. How do I do all these things without losing my mind, right? With being a mother and juggling being a career woman in some cases, because everybody's not an entrepreneur, but then also being an entrepreneur, and how do we show up and be our best self in every arena where we are. So that's that self-care component. And you can learn more about empowering her by visiting empoweringherworldwide.com. That's empoweringherworldwide.com, and connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at empowering her. So that's spell that out, so don't forget the ing. So that is EMPOWERINGHER worldwide.com.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been our time here with our guest, Keisha K. Reynolds with KR Communications. You have listened to Conversational Caffeine. So, till next time, be engaged, be empowered, but most of all, don't forget, take you a sip.